Hello and welcome to this month's intuitive reading for the new moon in Scorpio. I do these readings each and every month to help us all really focus our energies and to keep in our awareness the things we are wanting to create more of in our lives. My name is Melissa Sarazin and I host these each and every month. And I am so happy to be here for this new moon in Scorpio. We are moving towards the end of the year. And a lot of times, this is a very turbulent time. Because what I find happens is that we're getting into the longer days. We're getting into where we get to spend time in the darkness. And I know that that can be frightening for a lot of us. There is a fear of the darkness that really pervades all of us. And I want to encourage you. And Scorpio is here to encourage you to embrace the darkness, to make the darkness your friend so that you can dive in and you can become the powerful creator and being that you came here to be. Now, Scorpio is a water sign, and water is our emotional realm. And Scorpio loves to dive into our emotions. And usually when we are wanting to make changes in our life, there will be patterns that will start to show themselves to us. And we can use this time right now to ask Scorpio to support us in recognizing what emotional patterns we might be stuck in that are keeping us separate from changing our lives. And so that's what this reading is all about today. And as I was looking at my cards to see which ones I was going to use, everybody jumped up and put their hand up. And so I went to the goddess cards from Doreen and Virtue, and Callie showed up. She is the goddess of endings and beginnings, and I absolutely love Callie. I have been working with her for many, many years now, and she really helps you to disintegrate anything that is not serving you in life anymore, so that through that fire of the destruction and disintegration, you get to release what no longer works for you and to welcome in what is going to help you to move forward powerfully. And the message on the card is the old must be released so that the new can enter. So if you're struggling with letting something go, call on Callie. She is definitely the goddess to support you. Now, for the rest of our reading, I have got the Wisdom of Avalon cards, and I use these cards very often. They are one of my absolutely favorite decks that I've been using for many, many years. And they were created by Colette Byron Reed, if you want to check those out. Now, the cards that have come up, and I always ask for the message that's coming through to be a core message that the collective can relate to. So anyone who is tuning into this video, you're going to receive the essence of the reading that is going to speak directly to you. So you may pass this video on to a friend, and I certainly would appreciate if you did do that, if it speaks to you. Don't be surprised if your friend gets a completely different experience or message from what is coming through. Now, the first card I've got here is a marker, and the marker is communication. Now, communication, I'm feeling a whole bunch of energy here around my heart. And so how do you communicate to your heart and with your heart? We all desire to bring more love into our lives and into the world. And yet, if you are criticizing yourself, if you are telling yourself how you did something wrong, if you are taking things that other people are saying to you personally, then there has been a breakdown in your communication. And all that simply means is that there was a time in your life, and it's usually before the age of 6, that you had something said to you, and you took it on as truth, even though it was not your own truth. And so your communication from that point became a bit skewed. And as Scorpio is a water sign and it is the emotional realm, this is your time to really look at how you communicate to yourself. How do you judge yourself for the emotions that you feel? How do you judge yourself for the reaction that these emotions cause you to take towards life, towards other people, towards feeling like in any way that you are a victim to the circumstances around you? Scorpio will help you dive deep into your communication capacity when it comes to really tuning in and listening to your heart, to hear those whispers and to follow those whispers so that you can communicate more clearly to yourself about what is true and also to others. We only know what we know. I know I say that very often, but it is so true. If we do not have an awareness of something, then we don't know what that something is. So be gentle with yourself and just allow yourself to use that power of water and ask to gently flow into the stream that is here and available to help you wash away whatever emotions are no longer working for you for your benefit, as well as for the benefit of the people that are around you. Now, we got another card, the Novice. And this is, I think, the third month in a row the Novice has been here. So we're moving into a new time. We're moving into a time that we've never really been in before. I have been in the healing industry, the self-development industry, whatever it is you want to call it, since 2003, 2004. And I've noticed that as the years have passed by, our ability to really dive deep into ourselves has changed. And so the Novice is here to remind us that we are always changing, we are always growing, and if we can keep an attitude of curiosity, if we could keep an attitude that we are innocent and we are just beginning this path, we are just beginning this search, we are only just finding out this new knowledge. By approaching something as the Novice, we can let go of our need to be right. We can let go of our need for things to look a certain way. We can let go of our expectations. Expectations really hold us back from being in the present moment, from really being honest and taking responsibility for one's self. Nobody else can take responsibility for you. You need to be the one to make that commitment. You need to make that declaration that I am going to be open, honest, and loving with myself through anything and everything that happens. And I tell you, when you come from this perspective, things change. You become detached from those reactions that are draining your energy. Anytime you do that knee-jerk reaction to someone because you believe they're saying something to hurt you or cause you to feel sad or angry, you are draining your life force energy and you are giving your power away to that other person. So the Novice is encouraging you to make a declaration that I am going to look through the eyes of innocence. I'm going to let go of those judgments that I have about myself and others so that I may remain in that innocence and with a beginner's attitude so that change becomes normal. Change becomes normal. We are forever evolving. We are forever changing. And the more that we step into that innocent way of being, the easier all of life's challenges, stressors, and dramas that show up will move through and not remain or touch you in any negative way. So embrace that innocence that you had as a child. It's okay. You don't have to be right. You don't have to know everything. You are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to be curious. And you are allowed to be enthusiastic about the good that is showing up for you as well. Now, the third card I've got here is the forgiveness marker. And forgiveness is a topic that I absolutely adore. Forgiveness is something that saved my life. I'm going to be honest with you here. When I learned the power of forgiveness, when I learned that by not forgiving somebody for their actions, it was actually like me drinking the poison and expecting that other person to die. Like I've said, you can only take responsible for yourself in the way that you internalize and then share your experiences. Because that's what we do. We have those experiences, and however it is you're holding yourself in that experience is the way that you then turn around and interact with life. So forgive yourself. Allow Scorpio to show you where in your emotional patterning in your body forgiveness needs to be applied. You might need to forgive yourself for holding on to something for so long. You may need to forgive someone else for something they said or did to you so that you no longer hold that energy of being a victim. Someone overpowered you. What did you learn from that situation, and what needs to be forgiven in order for you to move past and to take that lesson into the light? We are here to take all of our shadows, all of the things that we fear, all of the things that we're angry, resentful about, and bring those shadows into the light so that they can be healed, so that we can become whole, and so that we can really embrace all of ourselves, so that we can be confident, so that we can feel free to be who we are without harming ourselves or anyone around us as well. Now, I also use the Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle. I wasn't kidding. Everybody wanted to come to this party today. Scorpio has a lot to say and a lot to talk about, and that is because emotions are not always something that we talk about. Emotions are something that can control our world, and yet I'm here to tell you that you can use those emotional patterns. That's the key for you to begin to shift and change and to invite more love, more joy, and more peace into your experience and in your life, in your relationships, in your finances, in every part of your life. So the element that I am using today is the water element, that is the element that is connected with Scorpio. And so the first water card is surrender. Now you have a choice. You can continue to fight and resist what you feel. And only you know what you feel. Only you know if there's feelings of betrayal, if there's feelings of sadness, if there's feeling of anger and rage. And I promise you that when you surrender to the energy of that emotion, emotions are just that, energy in motion. And the more you suppress them, the more you try to push them away, or the more you try to make them different than how they're appearing to you, the more they're going to hang around. You give them power when you do not allow yourself to surrender. So imagine yourself, this is why I said imagine yourself floating down that river. That water is carrying you, water is supporting you, and that you're surrendering to the flow of what is here so that what no longer serves you can be released. When we release that which we resist, we open the gateway for us to feel more of what it is we long to feel. And the second card is the dive deep card. Like I said, Scorpio loves to dive deep. Scorpio loves to feel all the emotions, good or bad. Scorpio doesn't necessarily judge good or bad. The whole point of feeling emotion is so that you can connect to yourself, so that you can open up your own enlightenment path, which simply means that you understand yourself at a deep level, and that you understand you have the power to direct your emotions so that you can feel more of what you want to feel. And there's actually a card hiding under the Dive Deep card that I didn't know was there, and that is feeling guidance. So trust your feeling guidance, surrender to it, and give yourself permission to dive deep. This card has come up because it is safe for you to dive deeper than you have ever dove into your own emotional realm before. The cards are supporting you. The elements are supporting you. The markers are supporting you. Callie is supporting you. There is all this support here. And when you call on that and you use it within this window, it makes it much easier for you to go through what it is you need to go through. And again, we have another emotional awareness card. Being aware of your emotions are really where all the clues and all of the things that you long for live. And being aware of how we react emotionally and using that information to see energetic patterns. I mean, if someone tells you to do what you're doing in a different way, do you automatically take that as criticism, or are you open to receive that information and actually think through, well, is it more efficient or better if I do it in this way? Or are you automatically defensive against it? That's one pattern that could be showing up now. Sometimes when, trying to think of another example, if somebody says something to you and you're reacting in anger, well, what is that anger trying to protect you from feeling? Using your own emotional awareness, it is what's going to take you down that path so that you can experience your own personal enlightenment, so that you can step into all of who you came to be. You are uniquely wired to you. There is no other person who is a duplicate to who you are. And you were made to stand in that power that you came to share with love. The first power of the element of water is the power of love. So activate that power. You are made of 75% water. Feel the water in your body. Activate the power of love. And then use that place to take a look at what your water is holding, to really allow yourself to surrender and dive deep so that you can open the lines of communication in a positive, loving way with yourself and with others, so that you can activate the novice and go back into that learning mode that you had when you were a child, that innocence of knowing that you were a beginner and that you didn't know everything. You don't have to know everything. And invite forgiveness for yourself and for others, and to really help to release. This is the time of year where endings and new beginnings are happening. And when you honor yourself and you give yourself that space to really dive deep, you will find so many gifts. You will find that things will shift more easy. And once you release the resistance, your body relaxes. And your shoulders will drop. And your heart will open. And you will begin to attract more loving, joyful, empowering experiences into your everyday existence. So thank you so much for joining me for this month for the new moon reading in Scorpio. Please leave a comment for me down below. Let me know what it is that you're taking away from this reading. Be sure to subscribe to as well, because I do these readings once every single month on the new moon. And there are occasions when I do it on the full moon as well. So when you subscribe, you will get a notification to let you know when those videos go live. Thank you for sharing your space and time with me. I send you much love, and I will see you next month.